Hey, it's MK, and I am here with a Stitches and Stencils layout for you guys today. I'm playing along with my Kit Conspiracy kit, and I will be using a couple products from the Crafty Maven Getaway mixed media box. Oh my goodness, I apologize. That is a tongue twister. So what I have here is a couple of wood veneer pieces. This set is called Palm Fronds. It's so hard for me to say, but I'm not going to use all of them, but I am going to color all of them on this video. I also am going to be using peeled paint and crushed olive for my colorings. I have my one little eagle, but I don't, you know what? I think he gets lost because I don't remember putting him on this layout. Truth be told, but I do like that not all who wander is lost. I have a couple more leaves that I would like to add, but I have more than I'm probably going to use. I just pulled out all the leaves. I'd rather have them already all pulled out than try to scramble when I'm trying to decide how I want things to go, if that makes sense. And then I've got a couple wordy bits, tickets, tags, butterflies, a title, a label, and some more tiny words, just all sorts of different things. Some of these will not make it on the layout. Some of them will. I'd rather have more than less, just because then it's already at my fingertips and I don't have to look through the whole pile of things. I also pulled out two more of these almost acetate-like, they're called PET tape, which I have no idea what that means. So, but it is like a sticker for your layout. I've got some cut apart cards, but I don't plan on using them because actually they get shoved off to the side and completely forgotten. I pulled out both of my green grid paper here, and I plan on matting my photos. I pulled out my favorite plaid paper for this collection. And then I have two pieces of this gorgeous wood grain that I am going to be using on the back. It is from Color Vibe, Simple Stories, and it is the cedar and white ledger paper on the back. So anyways, I'm going to go and matte my photos with this green paper. I'm going to trim down all my photos and then matte them all on this green cardstock or green pattern print. And I do have more photos than I intend to use. I'm okay with the matting of those because I could use them as filler photos for possibly smaller insert pages, things like that. But I don't plan on using all of these photos. They just don't, I don't want to say coordinate nicely. They just don't fit on the page as neatly as I wanted them to with the design that I had in mind for this particular layout. So I'm going to take the plaid paper and I'm going to use both sides of it. And I'm just cutting some random strips, 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1 1/4, 1 3/4, things like that. So I'm just going through and just cutting random strips from both sides. Now here I'm going to start coloring my palm fronds. I did already unmask them. I did that on camera or off camera, and I'm starting with peeled paint down at the bottom so that way it looks nice and dark and green. And then I will do the tips in the crushed olive, and then you can see that how it blends and the wood accepts the ink beautifully, and then they dry even better. They're just gorgeous. I love, this is called tulip wood, and it is as white of a wood as I can possibly make it. I haven't found a pure white wood yet. At least I haven't looked very hard, but in where my supplier gets his wood, this is as white as a wood as I could get. And it is just beautiful, especially when it takes this color and it's almost true to form color because you're practically coloring white. So I love it. It's not tinted with any other color at all. And the oxides just stay on top of the wood and stay true to form. Okay, you guys, so I forgot to briefly, I forgot to zoom out, but I will, I promise. I'll look up eventually and see that I am not zoomed out because this is Stitches and Stencils and I haven't shown you a single stitch or a single stencil yet because I almost forgot. So I was so excited to do this layout, in all honesty, that I completely forgot that it was Stitches and Stencils and that I needed to bring in a stencil. So what I did was I marked roughly where my edges of the photos are, and then I'm going to take this gorgeous peacock feather. Oh my stars. And again, it is in oxide because I want it to show up on this dark paper. And I'm just taking this Stamperia stencil. Stamperia, I believe is what it's called. It is a gorgeous collage stencil. I love their collage stencils, especially their travel ones. And so I'm going to go ahead and just randomly try to get some of the compass and whatnot, but I don't want too many compasses all over my layout. I just want one here, one there, a little peek of one, things like that. I did not want a full-blown compass all over my layout. And then by the time I get to my second page, because I used a brown pen, I now cannot see where my edges are. I saw one that I completely missed, but that was it. So here's where I decided to bring in the Crafty Maven Getaway. Oh my gosh, I keep wanting to say giveaway, you guys. I apologize. It is not a giveaway. It's a Crafty Maven Getaway mixed media box. And inside that box has this crepe paper that is this gorgeous lime green. And I thought, can I die cut this? I want to see. So I pulled out my Fern Valley little die cuts, and there they are. Oh my gosh, they're doubled up because I folded it in half, so I've got 2 of each, and then I'm going to go ahead and just put ink down on my glass mat, spray it with water, and now I am dipping them in very messily. I'm only trying to get a little bit of color going on these because I didn't want them too bright. I am making a mess of my fingers, a mess of my hands, but the curl factor that these do, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how awesome it looks when these little crepe paper leaves get wet and then they start to curl up and have so much texture. It's just phenomenal. I was so excited. I could not wait for these things to dry. I end up with a lovely pile of leaves that are just so full of texture. It is just the best thing that I could have experimented with. Really, I've never experimented with crepe paper before. I've made little rosettes and things like that with them, but this, I was blown away and super excited. And the more wet I got them, the more curlier they got, and it was just so fun. It was so much fun, but a big mess. I have to say that. I made a huge mess. All right, so now that those are done, I did hit them with the heat gun, and there's my big pile of leaves. It's almost like confetti, you guys. It really is. It's so cool. But there's my nest of leaves that I will bring. I'm not going to use all of them, but I do have to say that I use them for the rest of the week because they're phenomenal. I was so excited with how they turned out. Like I'm super stoked that I just could not stop playing with them. So yes, you will see them on every layout that I make for the rest of the week. I apologize right now, but I'm sorry, not sorry. Okay, so I'm going to take my little strips and I'm going to dovetail the ends of them, or fishtail, whatever you guys want to call that little triangle cut out of the end of the paper. I've always called it a dovetail. I've heard a lot of people call it a fishtail as well. So what do you call it? Inquiring minds want to know. So if I use a polka dot as a large one, I'm going to use the plaid one as my small one, and it's going to overlap. And then this is going to give me a foundation for my stitching later. So I'm going to build my base pieces right now, and then or my layering pieces, and then I'll go ahead and I'll stitch on there as well. So I'm going to go ahead, and this one I'm going to fake it, right? Because I did not want to waste a whole bunch of this plaid paper underneath my photo. So I'm just going to pretend like it goes all the way across from one side to the other. There it is. Look at that. All pretended up. I'm going to do the same thing with the smaller plaid piece on the other side. This one I'm just trying to make sure that my eyeballs aren't crooked and I got it on there straight. I was a little off, but not enough for the 3 blind mice to notice. Honestly, it's not even gonna notice. So then I'm gonna go ahead and add a small little plaid piece on here. I love these colors, you guys. This is so perfect for my Alaska photos. It just matches the I don't want to say it's gloomy, but it was definitely not sunny the whole time we were there. And so I definitely think that these colors match Alaska beautifully. It really does. Okay, so here is my right page, and now I'm going to move on to my left page. I think I have a couple more pieces over on my right that is still from the Crafty Maven Getaway mixed media box. This box is in April. It is the current box for April, in case you guys are curious. I have a link down below. If you guys want to grab one of these boxes, it is just so cool. That crepe paper is awesome. And then wait till you see the next piece of paper that I'm going to be playing with. It definitely adds to this layout. I am so stoked with how it looks and how it tears. And oh my gosh, it was awesome. I just, yay. Okay. So boasting done. Let's move on. So this one, I didn't want it to be straight across from my other page, my little polka dot strip. I didn't want it to look like it came from the other side. So I'm going to rise it up a little bit and get it to where my photos are. I want it underneath my photo just enough to where my photos are where they're supposed to be, but then I can see the polka dot above and below both photos. But I didn't want it centered, right? I didn't want it perfect, have this exact amount on this side and this exact amount on the top, right? I did not want that. And then for my plaid, I wanted my plaid to be visible underneath the photos as well. So I'm trying to strategically place all of my elements because, again, I need to do my stitching. And my stitching is going to go from the plaid to the polka dot. And it's going to look like I stitched the two together. So that's what it's going to be. And then from the mixed media box, from the Crafty Maven Getaway, and I'm trying to say it so many times to where I actually get it right. But look at this paper. I don't know what it is, but look how it tears. Look at how it looks. I love this stuff. Oh my gosh, get me a whole basket full of this stuff. I don't know what it is, but it is the coolest looking paper ever. So I'm also going to take this die cut that you get in the mixed media box and cut it in half. And I thought it would look really cool, spread across and put underneath my clusters. Now, I have to say I lose a wing. I lose it until the end. So I take the other wing off because I didn't do it. Because I lost it. And truth be told, they probably would have got lost anyways and blended in with everything else that I do in the layout. Does that make sense? So that's, but honestly, they get taken off because I lost a wing. I'm also going to do my stitching with the floss that came in the April kit as well, in the April mixed media kit by the Crafty Maven Getaway. Oh my gosh, I'm going to stop saying it because I just keep saying it wrong. But yes, I'm going to be using that floss that I keep putting over to the left, and then I'll take it over to the right, and then it's all over the place. So now here's where I'm going to bring out my stitching ruler. Now, I want to use these stitching, this particular pattern right here, which is just the angled stitches, but I don't want them to go at the same angle as my dovetail. Like the bottom half of my dovetail, I didn't want it to go at the same angle. So all I did was I flipped my stencil or my stitching ruler over so they went the direction I wanted them to go. So I'm going to go ahead and poke all of these on camera, but I'm not going to stitch them all on camera because A, it's very boring. B, I'm hardly under the camera because I have to constantly keep flipping my album or my layout up and down and over and left and right. It's awful. Just saying. This one, I think I got it wrong. I think it actually goes with the bottom piece, but at this point, I didn't care. I'm only trying to do a little bit because I only have so much of this floss. I did not get a whole roll of this floss, so I have to be skimpy with it. And I only poked, 5 or 6 little lines, and then down at the bottom, I poked a little bit more, and then up at the top, I poked a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and do the very bottom portion, and then, because that's the one that was mostly in camera. After that, they were all, do you see how it was so close up front to me and not in camera? That's how I stitch. For some reason, I must be blind. because I have to pull the paper so close to me and see what it is that I'm doing that I can't stitch on camera. I don't know. And my camera is not, like, it's only 3 inches. From my body to the bottom of that layout where my hand is right now, it's only 3 inches. And it's still just enough to where I have to, pull it close. So I must be blind. All right, so I'm going to give it a good knot to tie it off, trim it down, and then I've got all of my stitching done. I actually really like that variegated stitching because now it looks like different colors in each of the little sections. And of course, all the embellishing is going to cover a little bit of the stitching up, but that is the whole point, right? That's where I lost my butterfly wing too. It's gone. I have no clue where it's at. And I don't notice it until after I get ready to put the layout together. Most of my stenciling gets covered up as well. Just all sorts of stuff happens. But I do like the little bit of stenciling that you still see underneath, even though some of the major parts that I didn't want covered up ended up getting covered up. So I'm going to have 3 major embellishment clusters, one where my title is, one in that awkward spot between the crab shack and that really cool staircase going up to gosh knows where, and then one over by the Ketchikan sign as well as the Harley Davidson shop. Yes, that was one of our first places we went was to the Harley shop. As soon as we got there. And the first boat that was there before we must have bought the whole shop out. Same with Juno, because they didn't hardly have anything. We were so disappointed, but we still ended up finding something. I found a sweatshirt that I just absolutely love. Okay, so here's all those really cool little cut out crepe paper leaves. I love these things. They are so textury and curly, and I can't even, you guys. They're just awesome. I really do like them. I like how they come out of my page. I like the additional color that they add. They're very lightly mixed mediaed on there with the ink on there, but you can still tell that it is. I'm using my scissors to take some of the longer pieces and stick it underneath my photos just because of the fact that I did not want them to be that specific long. Like that's a little long. They look like little snakes. And then I have these weird brown things. I don't know what they are. They remind me of poppy seeds, like when the poppy flower petals fall off and all you have is that little bud at the end that's full of seeds. That's what those remind me of, but I honestly don't know what they are. So I'm going to tuck a couple of those in. I think I've got one by the title and one over by my subtitle. So it says wander and wonder together. I don't like the word wander with an A. I don't like it. But I have two little pieces that have the word wander, so I thought, you know what? I'm going to have it on one layout, I mean, rip the Band-Aid off. That's it. Just take it in. And then it says not all those who wander are lost. So I definitely wanted to go ahead and use both of those. Either one of them could be the title, but the one I like the most is Wander and Wonder together. So I have that. And then last but not least, I'm going to tuck in some of these wooden palm fronds into my leaf cluster. So I've got the crepe paper leaves, I've got wood leaves, and then I have die cut ephemera leaves. And I love it. I love the way this looks, even though the bits of these pictures don't have the greenery that we actually saw in Ketchikan. I'm going to put an insert in between these 2 pages that have the greenery pictures because I didn't want, that was too easy, right? I did not want this to be that layout. I wanted this to be what we saw in Ketchikan, just wandering through and walking around. And then in between this page, I'll have a smaller page, and that'll have all my greenery pictures and everything else that we saw. And then, of course, we have to have a page for our pub walk, which was awesome, by the way. I think I did a page already on one of those, I can't remember. All right, so I went ahead and finished the right page. Now I'm going to go ahead and work on the left page. I did some adhering already, just because I fiddle around a lot with these crepe paper flowers, trying to get them, or leaves, trying to get them to go exactly where I want them, and tuck the foam dots underneath to try to get the paper leaves to cooperate with the crepe paper leaves. And I mean, it was a lot of fiddling, and I didn't think you guys really wanted to watch it. So I'm going to finish off this page with these crystal gems that are also from the Crafty Maven Getaway mixed media box for April. And it just adds so much to this layout. I'm tucking them underneath my leaf clusters, and the little bit of sparkle that they add is like, oh, what's that? Oh, what's that? It kind of makes your eye hit all the spots, right? And it draws your eye into each little cluster. And I really did enjoy that. So I am super stoked and super happy with how this layout turned out. I love my little tiny bits of stenciling. I'm okay with it not being a full-blown, the whole background piece is stenciled. I'm okay with that. And I love these little leaf clusters with all of these leaves. And now you guys can see why I am so addicted to these crepe paper leaves, that they're going to be on every layout from here on out. I'm just warning you guys right now. All right, you guys, don't forget to check out the other gals playing along with me for Stitches and Stencils. That is Sandy Reversky, who is State Goddess here on YouTube, as well as Janet Fritz. She is my partner in crime in most of the series, actually, that we do here on YouTube. But she is also joining me for Stitches and Stencils, and she is joining me for Kit Conspiracy, because she isn't joining me, but she is my partner in this as well. So down below, I have a Facebook group for Kit Conspiracy, as well as a playlist, because of the fact that I've got, I can't remember how many years we've done this, but we've got lots of videos of Kit Conspiracy in the past that you guys might be interested in. And I also have the link for the Crafty Maven Getaway shop down below if you guys are interested. Go check her out and see what she has to offer. It's a brand new little crafty shop all about mixed media, and a couple digital items as well on there. So it's pretty cool. All right, you guys, again, thank you so much, and I will check you guys all later. Bye.